Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scrap Mechanic. My name is Blue Flame, and today I'll go introduce myself, because this is probably my second or third video on my YouTube channel, which is still public. Um, you may know me of the Intelligentsia mod, the Sharp Stuff mod, and the newly created May mod. They all include cool stuff like AI blocks, and the May mod will be coming back. I will be updating that once Survival gets an actual mod support, because that will be my main mod pack from now on. I should be moving all the other pods to that as well, if they're still useful, because saw blades are actually a thing already. Of course, I'll make more sharp stuff for it. So anyway, I decided to go make YouTube videos because, one, Scrap Mechanic has a survival mode and there's no mod support, so I have nothing to do in Scrap Mechanic. Two, due to the current times, I have a lot of free time. And three, I just finished what Americans would call high school, so I have more free time and not anything to do. So yes, well, you may have, well, most of you guys had probably already seen the introduction stage of the game. So, I was actually planning on running through it real quick, and then coming back to you when we did so, but I guess I'll want to show off the starting area as well, because there's a couple of interesting tricks. Although, most of the steps I'll be taking on are the same as moonbows. Now, of course, you will find farm bots everywhere. This one was actually kinda close. Don't need this head. So, but, well, anyway. Some useful tricks which Moonbow didn't actually show, I think, is that you should take these pipe pieces of the nice and beautiful, whatever it's called. I don't know. Don't know the English word for it. What does it matter? You just need all these pipe pieces of it. And don't forget the bearings, because they are expensive. Not really. But they're nice to have. Main focus would be these regular pipe pieces. I don't want any of these in the small pipes. Now, of course, you need the soil, all the seeds you can get, and I suggest taking all the wood of this building as well. Also, you can destroy these panels. Don't take them, they're fragile as hell. Heck, whatever. So don't take that jank, and just take all the building materials. You don't need to chop down trees later on. Now, of course, it will take you some time to take them, but once you have them, you're good to go. Also, this light is nice to have. Now we can take this farmland as well. We're not gonna stay here and do the tutorial. We already did so in another. You probably already know how to do so, so no point waiting around, and take the buckets. Here we go. Should be everything around here, and now it's time to run through a nice field of debris. Because we are not going to go into the airship, because, well, we don't need anything there, because it's better to just run around yourself. Also, make sure to check around back of the crashed ship, because there may actually be stuff around there. It's good to see if you miss anything, so you don't do so. And you might also take some burnt embers. Might as well, right? If you're here anyway. We'll need it later on for better metals. Go. That's another one down. Don't take too many though, you only need like one or two to create better metal. And for most parts you don't actually need it. Now, for some reason there aren't that many crates around here. Well, there's two close together, but it's less than I'm used to, so Guess we'll have to make do. And gasoline, we're not gonna use that yet. Component kits, always nice to have. It's a farm bot. Right, take the bucket. Eat this. There we go. Okay, let's run through this building real quick. It's the starter building, so it's always nice to go through it. A lot of stuff in here. We need all the stuff we can get. And always make sure to refine your scrap metal you get from haybots, because each piece in the world actually causes just a tiny bit of lag, not that much. They optimized it a lot, but still, at some point it will be too much and it will impact the game. But I think it's actually quite a lot, so you shouldn't need to worry about that in the short term. It's really only gonna affect you when you start to play for like multiple days, and then in game time. So not the well, you know what I mean. Just one more. They do get like 10 scrap metal for these rods, which isn't actually that great. It's not that much, you know. You can't really. You need to kill a lot of haybots to get a lot of metal. That's how we should say it. It's not actually enough to build anything. Even mining rocks won't give you too much. Also, if you're wondering, you can use your lift to get up there, but in my experience there's never anything up there. So don't do it. Don't bother. There's nothing there. Did so in another world. Nothing. But there are other buildings where you can go up to the roof, which do give you more stuff. But this one is not one of them. And then of course we have the second part and the second building. And here we can find our first haybots, and I can show you a couple of tricks to fight those boys. Because you'll have to fight 3 at once. Now, when I fight them, usually I just try to go like this, but since it's 3, it's gonna be very, very difficult. Instead, we can either go find a place where we can stand up high or use our lift. Now we have 4 after us, but they're quite a distance away, so let's pop down the lift and get up. Now we just sit here and smack them. Oh fuck. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, well, if the lift trick doesn't work because you're not doing it good enough, you can always go find yourself a nice rock to stand on. Or maybe even a piece of cotton. Pork. And they can actually destroy the corn, so I'd not suggest the corn, but a rock should work. Like that one over there. Should be a good rock to stand on. There we go. Oh, they can get up it. Only one though. Not worried about one farm bot getting up here. Stu taken care of. And now this little boy. Smack him. I thought I saw another farm bot around here. But apparently not. Anyway, let's refine this stuff, because we'll need all the metal we can get our hands on. Because again, when we get ourselves to the mechanic station, it's going to be very nice to have. And there we go. Or saw something blinking here. Where did the rest go? Oh well. Anyway, let's get back to the building. We need to loot our chests. And we need to get ourselves our hands on some honey as well, because we'll need it later on as well. I think there's a guaranteed spawn of honey around here, but I'm not sure. Also, I'm gonna have to dump these scrap wheels because they're gonna take up a lot of inventory space. And I don't need scrap wheels. And then let's just dump it on the ground like so. To despawn litter. The best way to get rid of stuff. Or so I was told. And when you're actually fighting them, just keep backing up till they die. It's just not constantly swinging your hammer because it kind of slows you down somehow. You shouldn't be able to run backwards, but it still slows you down if you swing your hammer. So it's better to only swing when they're in range. And also make sure that when you're fighting two of them at once that you don't get clapped because they can push each other towards you. While one is attacking, the other will just push him straight at you instead of that he stands still. Also, I have another scrap wheel. Don't want it. Get out of here. So anyway, well, we need to get up there. So let's use our lift because lift is great at doing stuff like getting up there. God damn it! Can't do anything. Now I've seen people jump from here to over there, but for some reason I've never managed to do so. But let's try. Nailed it. And that has fallen down. It's a soil bag, don't care. And here you'll find a nice fuel supply. Just in case you didn't get any, but chances are really low. And our crate. We have a lot of component kits now. Take this. Because again, we need the metal. For later on, we need it to make seats and the tools we require, as well as bearings. Now we're gonna need 6 bearings, and I already got 3 from the whatever it's called, the dolly, whatever. And so I got 1 from a chest, which means that we should be good to go. Also, it appears I've missed a chest here. Oh well. There we go. Now let's check our inventory. We have a lot of spaces left, that's good. Now there's a chest in this open field I did notice. So I mean it's worth to just go collect those as well. Because not only that, but if you see those rocks in the back there, those are the kinds of rocks that spawn with honey. So I'll go check out if they have some honey there. Now for later on, when we find ourselves a wok, we can make wok milk, which is basically the best food in the game. Sort of. Wok milk is quite nice. It gives you lots of food and it doesn't cost that much because the only thing you need for it is corn, and corn has no use, plus you can farm it nice and easily. Just clap 1 corn, get 1 wok milk. It's a nice and easy exchange. You can easily feed the wok. He poops out the wok milk, even though the others are on his head, but whatever. And we got ourselves another scrap wheel, so let's dump it. Because we don't need scrap. Scrap. Aha. Oh, god damn it. That scared me. These boys should make more sound when walking. It's one thing I have to say, because they only really make sound when they attack you. And even still the sounds are quite soft, even though my sound is basically boosted to the max. Did I get another scrap stuff? No, I didn't. Well, let's continue walking through this field. Also, we are getting hungry, so let's go eat. Tomater. Yes, I said tomater. Here we go, and one carrot. Well, by these rocks there should... well, it's not guaranteed, but... I mean, I guess there should be maybe some honey. Because we'll need it to make our wheels later on as well. One of the most important parts anyway. But let me just quickly take a look. And there's a chest there, but I'm not gonna bother walking over there. Way too far away. Let's see. Is there any honey on these cliffs? Because last time there was. But there doesn't appear to be any this time. So I guess I was wrong about the guaranteed honey spawn. Oh well, we'll probably find some on the way anyway. Last time I only came back here because I didn't find any near my mechanic station. No, and this one didn't. Oh, it did drop one. Yeah, sometimes they blow apart. Like if they well, they just pop apart and it's just a big explosion and everything goes everywhere. It's kind of annoying actually. I don't like it. But yeah, no. I might as well just, well, since I'm actually already walking, might as well just talk a bit about the game mechanics, because we're starting this world up anyway. I was planning to skip this part, but you know, actually it's nice to talk a bit about the terrain generation, because, well, the starting area is the same for everyone, which is obvious, but then they start to randomly generate the terrain somehow, which I find kind of interesting. Because, well, it's, for one, random generation with smooth terrain is already quite hard. And they managed to blend in the tiles quite nice. So, yeah, somehow they managed to create the perfect blend between generated and crafted terrain and human-made terrain. Which is beautiful somehow. Also, these roads, they, well, not perfect. Somehow they also managed to wind these through it. And they are kind of grid-like, so it's not like they wind everywhere. But still, also a good tip that you should actually do while you're walking is that since there are no beacons yet, but they plan on making them, it's good to make a mental note of where everything is around you. Because if you know where to get your stuff, you can just get it more quickly. You know where you can find burnt embers, even though you can get burnt embers at the start, it's good to know that there's maybe some other place closer by. And you can already see the mechanic station in the distance. Which is, well, amazing. Means we're not that far away from it. There's a couple of broken down warehouses nearby, which is good for us. Means we can get a lot of stuff from it. And, well, maybe this is another frequent honey spawn. There we go. This cliff is actually a guaranteed honey spawn. If you find this terrain piece, or this piece of terrain near you, well, you're basically guaranteed to get some honey from it. We get the beeswax. It is quite nice to get the beeswax because we need it for basically everything that consists of wheels. So that's amazing. No, I'm not planning on going in the warehouse. You know, let's go over here. Oh god, lag. I thought I saw a chest in this field, but I guess it was just a mechanics station's light. Let's try to get back to the road. I don't know where the road leads. Oh, there is a T-bend and there's a broken town, which we're gonna get back to later on, because you can get beautiful stuff from it. Also, I think yes, that's more honey. More beeswax. And again, since we need it for our wheels, we might as well take it. And it's nice to know there's walks nearby. Means we can get a nice, beautiful walk farm ready. Every time we get back, we can expect ourselves to have a bit of walk milk. And we just saw a nice warehouse in the distance. Now you don't want to go anywhere near those if you don't have the spot guns. So don't. Stupid. And then once you arrive at your mechanic station, you might as well first of all check your inventory space to see if you have any space left. And we'll just go into room number 2, in which your farm bot spawns. Clap it, because it's scrub. There we go. Take the battery. Take his metal, because we want this metal. It's good for us. Need it. And then go into cabin number 3. Sleep in the bed. Because then we respawn here when we die. We don't need to walk all the way back. And go into the mechanic station. And then we power up the station. Now we still have 1 battery left. And we craft ourselves 1 craft bot. It appears we got enough resources on our way. Which is quite nice. Now then, for the driver's seat we need extra materials. But first let us set up our craft bot. Usually I actually put it on this side. But it doesn't actually matter. For this survival world I'll place it on this side actually. There we go. Now, another thing that's good to do is to clear out your inventory space. So that it doesn't get filled up. Usually I use this spot for that. And just take out your seeds. Place them down because we're not gonna use them yet. Fuel, don't need it yet. Beeswax. A nice trick to do is to just have these things, place them down flat. And then just stack them up like... Oh, well, I want a nice stack, not such a janky stack. Where I just stack them up and just do these. There. Doesn't take too much space now, does it? Our fertilizer, don't need it yet. We don't need this yet. There we go. Since dirt actually stacks in stacks of 5, we can just make a pillar of that. Stack it up on the table, nice and easily. Don't need this jank. Well, that's only 1, and we'll get some when we go into warehouses, so there's no point in placing it down. Buckets. Don't actually need them. If you want to place down the buckets, you hold the force build button. If it's not hooked up, just hook it up. Hold down the force build button. Place them down like so. There you go. 4 buckets on the ground. Burnt wood, you can also stack it up. It's a lot bigger than anything else, but you know, you can still stack it, so no worries. And all the other parts which are stackables, but don't actually place down 1. I can, however, place down these 2 small stacks. Just to save a little bit of inventory space. As well as these net blocks, because I'm not really using those. Well, no, I'm gonna keep them in my inventory for now. For if we get more. Now here we have our food. And I do see that we have a lake right ahead of us. So actually, I am going to take some soil and my buckets. Because we're gonna immediately set up ourselves. Oh, and also the fertilizer, the tomato and carrot seeds. The reason for this being that I want to make... well, I mean, I guess I might as well take all the seeds because I don't need the seeds here. And I might as well take all the soil, just stack it up there. So real quickly I'll just have to run over there, see if I can make myself a nice and easy starting farm. And I might as well get myself a walk while I'm at it. Now when we're looking for a place to make our first farm, we're actually looking for something with like that right over there. It's a little peninsula which allows us to easily defend against the farm bots. Now I do see another something that piques my interest right over there. It it looks bigger. Hold on, let me quickly go take a look. And this place is a bit further away from the mechanic station, but well, it appears that it would be a better place actually. Well, it's further away from the mechanic station, but since it doesn't actually have that curving around it, it should be better suited as well as having it has more space. Later on I might actually build a big automated farm, so I think I'll take this spot as our main farming area. Oh gosh. Took a lot of damage there. And also we'll need our farm because we're running kind of low on food. Still have our radishes, but I don't want to actually use those. And this tree is too big for us to hit down, yeah. Actually no, I'm not gonna take this spot because these flowers are here. And I don't want them to protrude into my building. So, no, I'll still take the peninsula over there. You know, one of those islands would have worked as well, but anyway. I'll be back when I make it over there. Also, it appears that we had a very lucky spawn, because there's a lot of honey on this rock over here. Like, a lot of honey. It's one vein of like 3, which gives us like 12 honey. Or maybe 9, I guess. As well as one up here. I can hit it, there we go. Yeah, so there's a nice spawns of honey as well as a nice rock depot. But anyway, we're gonna use the peninsula over there to quickly build up our starting farm. Of course, our starting farm wouldn't attract any farm bots because it will be small. But, you know, it would be nice to actually have kind of a big... it would be nice to have a kind of big farm, actually. So... well, we might as well build it at the place. We're gonna build it later on as well, you know. So anyway, for a quick starter farm, you only need actually 1 bucket. I'd suggest building it nice and close to the water line. Maybe like so. You only need 9 plots of soil. And let's arrange it in a nice grid like so. There we go. Now then we don't need this anymore. Now what I like to do is then to place down a pillar right here on the edge, so I can see where it is from the water. I just force build my buckets on the floor, and then there's a nice trick that if you go into the water, the bucket automatically fills. So now we can not see the farmland, but we see where it is. So just spam our mouse button, for which I have a macro to do it nice and quickly. And we just lob water on it, and we're done. We're basically a human sprinkler system. Now for our first days, we're just gonna farm these stuff right here. We need a lot of taters, or tomatoes. I don't have actually found any potato seeds, which is, well, stupid, but anyway. I should have actually gone through the rack for the stuff I needed anyway. We just place our buckets here. We don't need it for anything else. And we will just have this grow. We won't fertilize it yet, because we'll use that for later on. And we might as well clear out this tree real quick. Now the trees are actually quite nice, because they're split up like this, and well, there's a couple of variants of the tree. But I like them. It's nice to see that we have another way to get wood instead of just going through the little farms. And it's also nice to see how there's the difference between what is actually built and what's natural. Because all the natural things actually are modeled in. Now, of course, the warehouses aren't. Those were probably built by dwarves, but those were built by highly skilled dwarves, of course. So, of course, they look way better than anything we can build. Because we're only working with scrap. Now, this is gonna take a long time to clean up, so I might as well be back when I did do so. Okay, so I made myself back to the mechanic station. And it's actually maybe time to start crafting some of the stuff we'll need for that vehicle of ours. Now, of course, we'd love to not have any, the least amount of scrap parts we can. But we will just quickly take a look, because we don't have any cotton yet, and for the seed it doesn't actually matter all that much. The only things it matters, the material really matters for, is the suspension. Of course, we can't make that yet, because we don't have any good metal. So we'll have to just do with what we have. Now, of course, we will need bearings. We already had 3, so we will need 3 more. Let's put those on the crafting real quick. Might as well. Now, for the engine, we have not enough component kits, so I will have to go get more metal and we'll craft metal, and I'll have to go get some component kits, which is gonna not to be that great. Well, for this we have enough already for me to make a seed, so we don't need to worry about that. This thing is crafting bearings. And we will turn another bearing on. This one will go craft a seed, as well as the connection tool we need. There we go. Now the only thing we'll need is the engine, which will require metal. How much do I have left? 35. That's enough for 20 metal. And that should be enough. We will put one on. There we go. Now, we will need some oil to make the engine. And you'll just can easily find in the water. Now, I did find this little place over here. And it seems to actually have a better spot to build a big farm on. But I'll decide on that later on when I'm actually going to build the farm. But yeah, no, if you want to get crude oil, just go into the water. And also, while you're at it, take the glue clamps. I did suggest to the devs on the comments of their latest update that they might want to increase the drop rate of glue clamps, because it's stupidly grindy. You use like 3 of those to make 1 pot of glue, and then once you have just that 1 pot, you can make 1 logic gate. It's amazing. To make any kind of logic circuit that is any kind of good size, you need like 30 or more glue clamps, which is just ridiculous. Way too much, way too broken. Well, not broken, way too expensive. So yeah, anything underwater, this should actually increase the drop rate, as well as maybe make some kind of automatic farming option. That way we don't have to go out and farm it every time we need it. Would be kind of nice. But anyway, so we have 2 of our fuel, but we might as well take a little more just to be sure, as well as take more glue clamps. Also, I will have to go raid a building for more component kits. So I'll see you when I did so, and then I'll show you how to build the first scouting vehicle we'll need. And then I'll go call it a day, I guess. Alright, so I think I have all the resources I need for my first vehicle. Now you'll see I have scrap seed. I'll upgrade that to a better seed later on when I have the resources. Mostly the, whatever it's called, cotton. I'll need to find a special biome for that, and it's not nearby, so I want my car to get there first. I made 2 Well, what you'll need, the resources I will use is a gas can. I'd recommend you actually get one because you can store your gas in that. 2 chests, just so I have some extra storage. I'll place those in the vehicle. Of course, you don't need them if you don't. Well, if you store them, store stuff in some other way. Of course, an engine, seat, the battery for some extra weight, and I opted for 2 big wheels and 2 small wheels. But of course, you can also just go for 4 small or 4 big. Depending on how many resources you have. I just decided to go with 2 big ones because I had the extra resources laying around. Anyway, I also got myself a lot of wood from one of the scrap cities, as well as all of the pipe pieces. This way I can use those to make the base, as well as craft wood for the wheels. And it's recommended that you don't just go chopping trees, just go to one of the scrap towns and dismantle one of the houses. But anyway, we should actually get building this thing. So at first what you will want to do is create a nice and easy base. It should be 4 blocks wide, so this is one too many. And then we place the seat on top of that. There we go. Behind that will be our gas can, of course. This will also be sitting on a nice base. Like so. Of course we don't really need the base, we could just immediately place it after it, but this way is better. Now to protect this and also to allow for more space. Oh well, actually we'll take the chest real quick. And we in the end I want this car to have the space for 3 chests at the sides. This means that I will have one here and one here. There we go. Then we have room for 2 chests extra. There we go. And the engine and the battery. The battery will go right here. We will place the engine right in front of that. This way we weigh down the front. Like so. Now of course we place more stuff under this. We take up these walls like so. Just for the extra protection. Now of course we should be able to place the chest one more forward, but we need space for the wheels. So what we do is we take out this extra space right here. And what we do is we get our bearings and we place those right in the front here. Then the pipe pieces we have in our inventory because I didn't store them yet. We can go up with one, and then go like so. This will just be so that it looks like how it would be with the suspension attached. Now then we go sideways. Get our bearings once more. Place them right here and here. Then on that we have our wheels. On the front we will use the small ones, of course, like so. And on the back we have the big ones. Now the big ones I will be still placing like we did just now. First of all I will go ahead and well, since the suspension will be there, I will need an extra space. So we will go up like so and actually just go around. Well, no, not go around. We'll just go up a little bit, like so. Or actually we don't. We just take our pipe and go out 1 block. Then we take our bend, take it down, get more of these pipes in, go down 2 more, like so, out, like this. Now bearing, wheel, we go, just like that. Now of course it doesn't have suspension yet, but that will change when we do get suspension, of course. Now hook up the engine to the seat, this like so. We will have to upgrade the engine, because I actually want it to be 4-wheel drive. And actually I'll go upgrade it as many times as I can, because it gets us a more efficient engine. Now, it appears that's only once, so that's fine. We will get more component kits later on. For now I will store these in my chest because, well, when I'm on the way, it's nice to have it. Now, to use the fuel can you hook it up to the engine as well? The engine can now have 4 bearings, so time to hook those up. Put these in the right direction. There we go. Now I'd say this should be fine. Now for the fuel, you put it in the back. So there we go. Now you can also see that the lights light up. We know how much fuel's in there. And of course we can use the side chests to store our stuff. Now then, if we look at this, it steers like you would expect it to, which is good. We could move the wheels up one more, but for right now I think this is fine. I like it more like this, because, well, just because. Now, of course, I did take this light extra as well. And I will quickly place this on the front, like so. Put it up to maximum. This way, when it's dark, we have a little bit of light so we can actually spot the vehicle. So we can use the connection tool to do the same. And anyway, well, the big wheels have one slight disadvantage to the small ones. It's that they get going less fast. But I think it's actually more efficient to have the bigger ones. I might actually want to turn up this engine one extra notch. Of course, kind of glitches. And now we have our starting car. So yeah, that's actually it for this video, because it's well, the video is gonna get very long otherwise. It's already pretty long, so yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and yeah, in the next one we will go explore the world with our new car, because, well, we need resources, a lot of them. That's why we have these chests. And especially component gains. Now on the way we will of course upgrade this engine. But yeah, consider subscribing, hit the like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.